And there's one very interesting thing that I do. If I travel for work, and sometimes I stay on for the weekend, I would change to another hotel.
Ah, okay. So one is for work and something else for leisure.
Exactly.
Okay.
I have to depart from my work mode and go into my leisure mode.
Hi Vogue, this is Leslie. I'm currently at the newly opened Capella Hotel in Taipei, joined by the brilliant designer behind the hotel's interiors, André Fu. André, thanks for being here with us.
Pleasure, Leslie. It's André Fu here. Pleasure to be here.
You're now widely recognized for your interior design work, but you actually hold a master's degree from Cambridge University, and then you worked for renowned British architect and designer John Pawson. What led you to pursue a career in interior design rather than architecture?
In spirit, I don't see a big difference. It's still talking about space and how it interacts with people. Interior is probably something that's more interactive, more in sync with the person. Personally, I'm a little bit more interested in that.
Right. So your portfolio spans galleries, restaurants, commercial spaces, but your hotel projects have brought you a great deal of recognition. What do you find the most compelling about designing hotels?
I think hotel is a very special type of entity. It's a very holistic expression of a lifestyle. It's almost like making a film. When I'm curating a hotel experience, I have a kind of cinematic type of mentality. So it's the moment when you get out of the car, the door open, you walk in, the first encounter.
Right. You imagine the scenario.
And it's almost like a curation of experience. When everything kind of conjure up, it becomes the experience, ensuring that the customer will leave the hotel with a certain piece of memory. So it's not just that they had a good time, but there are a few things that could suddenly tickles them.
Right. Well, you've described your design style as relaxed luxury. Can you elaborate a little more on that?
I started my career almost 20 years ago, and I guess at the time, when people think of grandeur or luxury, it's always places that are very embellished. As styles and trends evolve in the past 20 years, people are now you know better than me, be comfortable, be yourself. And when I talk about relaxed luxury, it's not just be very chilled or have this kind of relaxed vibe, but I guess it's just going to places that puts you in the heart of the experience. Even I'm doing maybe a huge suite, I love to carve it out. So when you walk in, you feel that, oh my God, there is this little place that I can hang out. There is this little nook that I can kind of lie down and relax. So it's very much kind of human-centric.
It's like an elevated version of everyday life. Where you get a little bit more experience than you get to in your home or in your workspace or whatnot.
Exactly.
When did the style start to take shape for you?
Pretty much at the beginning of my career, when I was entrusted with the upper house. Because at the time, the brief was very simple. It was calm and comfort. It was my first hotel, so I had no baggage. I had no idea how to make a hotel. I just think of places that I resonate with. A very warm, a very comfortable space where you take all the clutter away. When you go in, you feel that you own the experience because you're just yourself.
Well, unclutter is a very high form of luxury.
Especially these days.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Well, your work can be found in a lot of major cities. Do you have a favorite project?
I guess Upper House is unique because it was my very first project and it really stood the test of time.
It's really a classic. I remember the first time I stepped into that hotel and the guest experience manager walked me through the room and he said, the very special thing about the design of the guest rooms is that the living and sleeping area is the exact same size as the bathroom. I thought that was so cool. Because who gets a bathroom as big as that, but you don't find it lavish?
Well, the other one that's very special to me, it's a hotel in Kyoto called Hotel de Mitsui. I've always been in love with the city, and having an opportunity to really create something there and really connect with the city was such a special moment.
What about a favorite spot here in Capella?
It's this space. In most hotels, we call it the lobby lounge. But in this particular property, we call it the plume. It's not like a lounge that is tucked away from the lobby. It's actually really a place that's in the heart of the experience. I want to create this living room for Taipei people. I want people to come in and interact and hang out and have afternoon tea, and at night have a very cozy drink.
It's multifunctional, right?
Yes.
It's not just a sterile
Yes.
sitting area for
Exactly.
waiting or for a cup of tea. Really all day long welcoming people to interact, which is quite unique, I think, for Taipei.
Well, I hope that
Yeah.
it will get the vibe.
I'll be there all the time. Now we're moving on to fun questions. You've been to Taipei quite a few times, right?
Yes.
Can you share some of your favorite spots here?
The Aka Cafe. Discovering this really lush,
Right.
almost tropical / Japanese garden that's
Yeah.
kind of nestled in
Right.
the middle of this courtyard.
Right.
So I find it so mesmerizing. And what's interesting about Taipei is the pace. Everything is a little bit slower.
Yes.
When you interact with people, you feel that there's a certain emotion, like they want to interact. And I think it's that quality that I really want to embrace in this particular property.
Right. As someone who travels frequently, do you like staying at the same hotels or do you like to explore new destinations?
I'd say I'm completely open. And there's one very interesting thing that I do. If I travel for work, and sometimes I stay on for the weekend,
Yeah.
I would change to another hotel.
Ah, okay. So one is for work and something else for leisure.
Exactly.
Okay.
I have to depart from my work mode and go into my leisure mode.
When you're selecting a hotel, what are the aspects that you value?
I mean, interestingly, when I'm traveling for work, I like to stay in very small rooms. So I like to keep my surfaces limited,
Right.
so that I don't worry about leaving things
If you've
behind.
forgotten
Exactly.
something or whatnot, yeah.
Exactly.
Well, finally, André, as someone who has achieved so much in your field, do you have any advice for young people who aspire to have a successful career in the field of either interior design or architecture?
My recommendation is to go out, to travel, to try to see as much as you can, because there's nothing more interesting than immersing yourself in a lifestyle experience, to have that cultural diversity, to appreciate things.
You have to experience the culture to
Exactly.
really understand it.
It's really about understanding how they live, how they use that cafe.
Right.
Why are they there? Why is the table so small?
Right. Understanding that rules in other cultures may be different from the ones that you already know. Like,
Correct.
in some cultures, champagne can be served at 8 a.m.
Exactly.
Stuff like that.
Exactly. I think the other thing is about being persistent. I think especially in my role, it's about, there's so many people involved. The curator of it all, it's about pulling people back. Don't go the wrong way. Like, if that's what we intended to do on day one, let's just be truthful to that all the way to the end, because we cannot predict trends, we cannot predict style, especially in design.
Yeah.
But we know what's the heart of what the experience should be. And I guess if you can really pull everyone to that and believe in it, if it's properly executed, somehow it will resonate.
Yes. Well, thank you so much, André.
Thank you,
I am
Leslie.
so excited that we finally get to experience one of your designs in Taipei.
Thank you. I'm very excited to bring this to Taipei as well.
Bye, everyone. See you next time.